The trains in the UK with arguably the shortest lifespan left is the Class 455, currently operating on South Western Railway Metro routes out of London Waterloo. These units were built between 1982 and 1985. This makes some of the units up to 43 years old this year. Like any train, however, they won't last forever, so their retirement and replacement is beginning to become nearer. But how long have they got left, and how can you get your last rides on them before they go? Before we take a look at this, please consider subscribing to my channel and liking this video. It's always much appreciated if you do. There are currently 3 subclasses of 455s in service with South Western Railway: 455-7, -8 and -9s, all of which have some minor differences. Most notably are the different fronts that the 455-8s have. They do not have the rounded roof that the other subclasses have. 455-8s also operated with Southern up until 2022, when they were withdrawn. The Southern units had different interiors, traction equipment, and lacked the end gangways that the SWR units have. Between 2022 and the start of 2025, only a few SWR 455s were sent to scrap, but on the whole, SWR's fleet of 455s have remained relatively similar in size in the last few years, mainly due to the delay of the Class 701s, the fleet's replacement, which is still entering service as we speak. At the start of 2024, the first Class 701 Arterio entered service. However, due to the challenges already experienced with the fleet, the rate of new trains being rolled out was kept very minimal. SWR planned for 15 Class 701 units to be operating by June 2025, with 1 new unit supposed to be introduced per week up until this date. But in reality, only 10 units had carried passengers by June 2025. However, more units are beginning to enter service now, with them becoming more common on Hampton Court, Dorking and Guildford via Epsom services, as well as services via Staines to Windsor, Reading and Weybridge. Now that 701 operation is becoming more widespread across the network, SWR has begun to retire 455s and send them to be scrapped. Since the 23rd of June 2025, there has been a fairly frequent series of scrap moves, often seeing 2 or more units leave Wimbledon Depot for their last time bound for Newport Sim scrapyard per week. The 23rd of June saw 455-912 and 916 leave, and just over a week later on the 2nd of July, 455-905 and 857 left bound for Newport. Since then, more 455-9 units have been scrapped, meaning that only 8 units of this subclass remain. 455-9s can be identified by their rounded roof at the cab ends, or you can just find it from the second digit in their unit number. 455-9s will continue to be scrapped in the near future, so if you want a last ride, get one in quickly. You can find any 455 using real-time trains. Every SWR service has its stock allocated and is viewable on real-time trains, or you can just search the unit number that you're looking for on the website. 455-8s are also being scrapped, but not at the rate of the -9s. I'd imagine that 455-8s will be next to face as frequent scrap drags. That will leave the 455-7 subclass. These look similar to the -9s on the front, but they are easy to identify by having a 508 coach as one of the centre coaches, with a different body shape, windows and doors. You may ask, why are SWR retiring so many 455s at this stage when 701s are still experiencing technical problems that impact their rollout? Well, SWR is covering many 455 operated services such as Chessington South and Woking via Weybridge stoppers with 450s, which previously mostly operated longer distance SWR routes. But how long will it take 455s to be completely retired? Unfortunately, I can't answer this question as I don't work for SWR, so I don't know their long-term fleet plans regarding 701s and 455s. However, I can say that many 701s are in long-term storage at places like Bicester MOD site and Long Marston Yard, and some 701s still need physical and software upgrades, meaning that the entire fleet's rollout is a long way off. For now, they are aiming at 1 new unit per week, so more 455s will probably be scrapped as more and more depot space is needed for 701s. 455-9s have the least life left in them. so they'll probably continue to be scrapped for the other subclasses, but this could all change depending on SWR's internal plans. As of now, it's pretty easy to find 455s. They operate a large proportion of suburban SWR services from London Waterloo, so it isn't a challenge to find one to ride at a large station like Clapham Junction or Wimbledon. So overall, SWR 455s are beginning to see their demise, and over time they'll become less and less common and harder to find. But for now, they won't be disappearing too soon, hopefully. If you have enjoyed today's look at Class 455s, please consider subscribing to this channel for more transport-related content. Also like the video, as it helps promote it for other viewers on YouTube, and maybe even consider joining my YouTube channel's membership program.